Tonight, a Jacksonville mother's warning. Patti Wheeler is sounding the alarm about kratom and 7-OH. She says her son died of a kratom overdose. She's now turning her son's story into a documentary. An investigative reporter, Riley Phillips, joins us now with this mother. She got to talk to her, and Riley is live here in the studio right now. And Riley, this mother says her son was using a product that you can find at regular smoke shops.
Yes, Patti Wheeler says her son had only been using kratom products for just a few weeks before his death, and now she is on a mission to educate the country and to put pressure on the federal government to regulate this industry.
It is not a question of if you will become addicted. It is a question of when.
Patti Wheeler had never heard of kratom until she got a call from one of her sons in 2022.
Gannon asked him if he wanted to play video games, and Wyatt had said, "Sure, bud, you know, let's play." And Gannon walked downstairs. He sat down, and he was just about to put his headset on, and he said he heard a thunderous commotion.
Wheeler's son Wyatt had a seizure and died. She says the toxicology report showed his #1 cause of death was metragonine toxicity, which is a chemical compound derived from kratom.
He had started using OPMS concentrate, not the powder, the concentrate liquid, and he died.
Since that day 4 years ago, Wheeler has dedicated her time to spreading awareness of the dangers of certain kratom products and 7-OH. That advocacy work led her to produce a documentary called A Beautiful Life Stolen.
For us, it was very important to be sort of bipartisan and tell both sides. We didn't know a lot about kratom when we started.
Kratom comes from a leaf found in Southeast Asia. It has been used in teas and herbal supplements for years as a natural way to help with pain and anxiety. But for the last decade, a highly concentrated part of kratom called 7-OH has hit the shelves of smoke shops and gas stations. The FDA has warned that 7-OH is highly addictive and mimics the effects of opioids.
It's labeled natural, that people think natural means that it is safe. Natural does not necessarily mean that it is safe.
Mike McCormick is with the Florida Poison Control Center. He says there were 264 calls statewide for kratom exposure in 2025. That's about the same number of calls he says they've received in just the first 6 months of 2026.
What we've seen over the last 2 years is a real explosion in the amount of products that are out there. And anytime we get more products, we then start to see more calls.
That increase is being seen across the country. America's Poison Center reported a 93% increase in average monthly cases of kratom and 7-OH exposure in 2026 so far compared to 2025. Of those exposed to 7-OH, nearly 38% have serious health problems, 64% were treated at a healthcare facility, and 18% were hospitalized.
We've seen people that are in long-term recovery for opioids that have not used an opioid in 7 years, that took this as a supplement for many different reasons.
The Jacksonville Outpatient Detox Center is on the front lines of helping people addicted to kratom and 7-OH products. Rob Hauser says they've designed outpatient treatment to help people who still want to maintain their daily lives.
There's nothing that we haven't seen or heard. People that are struggling with this just need to raise their hand.
The state of Florida has since renewed its ban on 7-OH and related substances, but Wheeler wants the federal government to do the same. And she hopes this documentary will lead to permanent change and ultimately save lives.
We need a hotline. We need an organization. We need to get together.
And Wheeler's documentary is set to be released in October. On July 1st, the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration filed its intent to temporarily place 7-OH and 3 related substances as Schedule I substances. After 30 days, the U.S. Attorney General can issue the temporary scheduling order for up to 2 years.